In the vast wind-swept plains of Central Asia, under the endless blue sky, a child was born, a child destined to change the course of history. His name was Ertugrul, son of Suleiman Shah, leader of the noble Kai tribe, one of the proud branches of the Oghuz Turks. From his earliest days, Ertugrul grew up surrounded by the roar of horses, the clang of swords, and the whispers of ancient nomadic wisdom. He learned that life was survival, that a man's worth was not in wealth, but in courage, faith, and honor. The 12th and 13th centuries were times of turmoil. The Mongols thundered from the east, burning cities and crushing kingdoms beneath their hooves. The Byzantine Empire loomed in the west, desperate to reclaim lost lands. Between them stood the Oghuz tribes, wandering, restless, and homeless. The Kai tribe, led by Suleiman Shah, moved from one valley to another, seeking peace and fertile land. But peace was rare. Every horizon brought danger. Every decision carried the weight of life or death. One day, the tribe reached the mighty Euphrates River, hoping to cross into safer lands. The river was wild and unforgiving. As they attempted to cross, Suleiman Shah, the tribe's beloved leader, was swept away by the current and drowned. The tribe fell into chaos. Fear and sorrow consumed them. Who would lead them now? Many tribes split away, but among the remaining few stood young Ertugrul, calm, resolute, and guided by faith. In that moment, he stepped forward not as a mere warrior, but as a leader chosen by destiny. Ertugrul took the mantle of leadership at a time when his people were broken. He had no grand army, no riches, only his faith in Allah and the loyalty of a few hundred families. Yet his words carried fire. A nation without faith is like a body without a soul. We may be few, but with Allah's help, we can change the world. Under his leadership, the Kai tribe regained strength and unity. He instilled discipline, courage, and brotherhood, transforming wanderers into warriors. Guided by signs of destiny and dreams of safety, Ertugrul led his tribe westward, across deserts, mountains, and battlefields, toward Anatolia, the land between Asia and Europe. This was no ordinary migration. It was a journey of faith, for Ertugrul believed Allah was guiding him toward a greater purpose, a land where the call to prayer would one day echo across continents. One fateful day, Ertugrul and his warriors encountered a fierce battle between two armies, one side vastly outnumbered and on the verge of defeat. Without hesitation, Ertugrul charged into the fight to defend the weaker side. Not knowing who they were, that side turned out to be the army of Sultan Alaeddin Kikabad, ruler of the Seljuk Empire. Impressed by Ertugrul's bravery and faith, the Sultan rewarded him with land in Skut and Domanik, near the Byzantine frontier. That small piece of land, won through courage, would one day become the heart of the Ottoman Empire. Living near the Byzantine border meant constant conflict. Ertugrul and his Alps warriors fought countless battles to defend their people. They fought not for conquest, but for survival and justice. The Byzantines called him the Lion of the Frontier. His tactics were brilliant. He struck fast, disappeared into the forests, and returned like a storm. With each victory, Ertugrul's legend grew. But what made him truly feared by his enemies was not his sword. It was his unshakable faith in Allah. Ertugrul believed that true victory did not come from numbers or weapons, but from faith. Before every battle, he and his men would pray, seeking strength not for domination, but for righteousness. He was known to say, "If Allah is with us, no army can defeat us, and if He is not, then even the world cannot save us." This faith gave his tribe purpose. It transformed fear into courage and despair into destiny. Amid the chaos of war came peace in the form of love. Ertugrul met Halim Sultan, a noble woman of rare grace and wisdom. Their love was pure, rooted not in wealth or power, but in shared belief and loyalty. Together, they built a family while the world around them burned. Halim stood by Ertugrul in every hardship, through betrayal, battle, and exile. She was not just his wife, she was his partner in faith, the light of his soul. From their union came sons who would carry the torch of their father's vision, and among them was Osman, born with the same fire that burned in Ertugrul's heart. Ertugrul raised Osman not as a prince, but as a believer, teaching him courage, humility, and justice. A leader, he said, is not he who rules over people, but he who serves them with honor. This teaching would echo through history as Osman founded the empire his father had dreamed of. As Ertugrul's fame grew, so did jealousy. Within his tribe, some men hungered for power. They whispered lies, sowed division, and even conspired with the Byzantines. But Ertugrul met every betrayal with patience. He understood that leadership was not only about defeating enemies in war, but also about defeating ego, greed, and envy within one's own people. His justice was so balanced that even his enemies respected him more than his corrupt rivals. Under Ertugrul's leadership, Skut became a thriving frontier town, a beacon of trade, peace, and scholarship. He ruled with fairness and mercy. He never oppressed the weak, and he never allowed injustice, not even from his closest companions. People said, where Ertugrul rides, peace follows. He built mosques, schools, and markets, planting the seeds of a civilization that would one day stretch from the Balkans to Arabia. As years passed, Ertugrul grew older but wiser. His beard turned white, but his heart remained as fierce as a lion's. He spent his last years guiding his tribe, mentoring Osman, and preparing him for leadership. He told his people, "Do not be slaves to this world. Be servants of Allah, and you will rule this world." His tent became a place of wisdom, where warriors, scholars, and travelers came to seek advice. Around 1280 CE, after a lifetime of struggle and faith, Ertugrul Ghazi returned to his creator. The entire region mourned him. Even those who once opposed him bowed their heads in respect. He was buried in Skut, the land he had earned with his sword and heart. Above his grave, his people built a tomb, a symbol of gratitude to the man who turned a dream into destiny. From the small seed Ertugrul planted, his son Osman Ghazi grew a mighty empire, the Ottoman Empire, which ruled for over 600 years. But Ertugrul's true legacy was not in castles or crowns, it was in values, faith, justice, honor, and unity. Centuries later, his story continues to inspire millions around the world. His name stands as a reminder that a man guided by faith can change the fate of nations. A believer never loses. He once said, he either wins with honor or dies with faith. And that is the eternal story of Ertugrul Ghazi, the warrior, who laid the foundations of an empire.